Good evening, everyone. We are here at Imola today. This is Formula Trout League, the Sprint Series. We are at Imola for round 7 of the Sprint Series. Just me on comms today, Alex Cochran. Maybe we will have a co-commentator join later, but we are set to have quite an exciting race coming up for us. We have R2 Nieminen back on track, Maxi Younger back on track, Stevenson, by and far away championship leader, also here again, hoping to return to the top step of the podium after at the last round not winning either of the races for the first time this season. I think he's not run a race in one of the rounds. I could be wrong on that, but might be since round 1. But yeah, should be an exciting event. You join me here in qualifying at the moment. Just over 7 minutes left to go. I can't actually tell you who is first at the moment because the timing. R2 Nieminen is currently in first, I should say. Pole position for him, provisional pole position. Currently on a lap. See if we can find him on track. Or not. There we go. Yeah, R2 Nieminen currently on a lap, better than his previous one as well. Currently setting a 1:36.144 as he comes into the final 2 corners here. But he is up on his time at the moment. Steve Stevenson, meanwhile, is just on an outlap himself in P2. Martin Vanterland in P3 for Infoward. Maxi Young P4. Oscar Williams is back here as well. I didn't actually realise that. In P6 as Thomas Barbary goes in P1, but then Nieminen beats it again up into P1 for Nieminen. Williams jumps to P3 in the Infoward. Good to see him back on track. We have missed him the last few rounds. And yeah, should be an extra bit of competition for us watching and for the drivers taking part. If anyone does want to take part, click the description and you will find a link for our Discord server where we run most of the sessions here. We're currently in qualifying, but we're always looking for people to join. Too late to join this day's race, but next week we will be racing in Sprint Series once again. And yeah, get your sign up in, get your team registered, race as a solo driver, up to you. And yeah, we would love to see you on track. But all eyes back on this race. Nieminen will be on an in-lap unless he's doing multiple laps here, which you can do in the Sprint Series. Unlike the Premier Series where, you know, we run the Formula 1 inspired cars, he's a bit out of track limits there. Yeah, we run the Formula 1 inspired cars, which have the batteries, have the ERS systems. Here it's just full speed all the way. He bounces over the curbs through the Variante Alta. Just staying off the runoff area, the AstroTurf on the exit. Get a good lap, but I think he is on an in-lap at the moment. Wagenvort currently in P4 as well for Infoward. Into turn 1. Ooh, little misses the apex there, drifts out wide, but gets through safely. Comes down now to the Villeneuve chicane. Very fast left-hander, lift off, back on the power as early as you can, but you don't want to go out wide because you will lose the car. You'll go left or right, but wherever you go, you're going to be into the wall, and that would be your race/session ruined. But neat and tidy through Tosa, up to Piratella, the high-speed left-hander over the blind crest. Neat and tidy once again. If you run a little wide, as Wagenvort did there, you can just lose time and he's lifting. He's either not on a lap or he's backed off through Aqua Minerale though. Further down the field, Oscar Williams just behind. I think that's the Younger GP car of Stevenson. It isn't. It's the Maxi. It's the Younger GP car of. It's the Maxi GP car of Younger. It's the Younger GP car of Maxi Younger. Just as they go down the hill to Aqua Minerale. There is Younger. There is Williams. Yeah, 19 corners here today at Imola. 10 left, 9 right. It's quite, you know, it's a very iconic venue, and one we've seen a lot of times in real motorsports. Recently returned back to the Formula 1 World Championships in real life. Very, very iconic circuit. Changed quite a lot over the years. I think 2006 was probably some of the major changes. Previously, there used to be the chicanes down the start-finish straight, so now we have the huge, you know, I don't know how long it is in kilometers, but it's a very, very long, basically straight. There's a few kinks in it. Stevenson goes P4 as he comes down this straight as he pulls off to the side. He must have been out of fuel on that run, and that will be his qualifying session over. Huh. Interesting. Sorry for the silence. Stevenson has just pulled in front of the pit lane and started reversing down. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting strategy. I'll be right back because I'm just going to have to consult the rule book because I'm also on commentary and race directing duty today. So unfortunately, I'm just going to have to do a bit of live race directing and consult the rule book because this might be, you know, it's a thing where I'm aware people can do that. I personally have been responsible for some of the things in the rule book, and maybe that is a bit of a loophole that Stevenson has just not uncovered, but realised, and something that's going to get patched over at the next round. I'm going to say we've had a few things of people pushing the rules, and you know, I'll encourage people to do that. I'll encourage people to push the rules. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. If it's not there in the rule book, you know, it's not a rule. So maybe it is something you can use, but that's not it's not the intention of the rules. The Barbary comes down the hill into the two Rivazzas. Car just slow there on the exit, going wide. I think that's Radocchia. Barbary starts a lap / finishes a lap. Probably will have time for another one. Is it enough for pole? No, it's 4 tenths off his previous best. Yeah, I'm just perusing the rulebook here, and I don't see anything that doesn't allow Stevenson to do that. Bit of a hole there. Live directing and commentating, you get a bit of an insight on how we're working here. But yeah, it's an interesting one for Stevenson. Barbary on his final lap now. There's just 1 minute left in qualifying. Comes up to Piratella. Nice and easy through there. Runs a little wide. We run Kirby's track here in Formula Trout League, so you can push it a little further, but too far and you'll be on that AstroTurf. You'll be losing time. The same here. That is a big snap of oversteer. And he was definitely out of track limits there. The lap may count, but post-race he will probably receive a penalty for that if he is reported, which he's going to get reported for that because he did just cut the exit at Variante Alta as well. Maybe he will back out of the lap. 10 seconds left in qualifying now, and even still in provisional pole. He's on a lap himself though. Is he up on his time? That is the question. No, he's massively down on his time. 6 tenths, 8 tenths. So yeah, he's backed out. Barbary comes into the pits, doesn't finish that lap. The lap which cut the track. Williams comes through the last Ravazza now. Down the start finish straight. Through the right-hand kink. This is where I was saying there used to be the chicanes. There used to be a right-left chicane and then a left-right chicane, but now we just go straight down the through the kinks, starting another lap. That's P4 for Williams. He does improve on his time, but it's not enough. Stevenson, meanwhile, after his interesting interpretations of the rule, what lap time will this see? We've got very, very close between them. Debatably out of track limits there again. Might be facing a penalty for that, but not fast enough to improve. Yellow flags for Wagendorf. He lost it at the Variante Alta by the looks of things. Vanet into the pit lane. Radocchia just coming down to Ravazza 1 now. Is he up on his time? He is up on his time. Marco Radocchia in the chicken car. Stala Alnak comes through the final corner. Comes through Ravazza 2. Running it out as wide as he can onto the curb. Getting the best drive onto this long start-finish straight as he can. Will he improve? He does improve, but P11 is all he can manage. No improvement for the Stala Alnak driver. Well, an improvement in lap time, but not an improvement in position, unfortunately. And just a thing I've not mentioned yet. We have a new team on the grid here in Season 7. It is Protogen Power. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. In a quite nice blue livery. As he bounces over the chicane there through Variante Alta, but yeah, Niemanen looks like he has pole position I'm just looking at the two Protogen drivers' names. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and I might not try. Yes, I'm going to call you... No, I don't know. I'm not even going to try that, I'm afraid. So I'm going to be sending you a private message after the race. The same with your teammate. To clarify how to pronounce your name for further rounds. Apologies for not doing that before the race. Very unprofessional of me. But yeah, checkered flag is out. All the cars have returned back to the pit lane. R2 Niemanen on pole here at Imola. Thomas Barbary for Young GP in P2. Maxi Younger for Younger GP in P3. Oscar Williams for Infowood P4. Stevenson P5. Wagenvort in P6. Bantalan P7. Radocchia in P8. That is Roberto Radocchia. Tim Draper P9. Reasonable session for him. Kevin Van at P10. The other Radocchia, Marco Radocchia P11. The two Protogen drivers P12, P13. Andreas Leonardo. Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm making a mess of that. In P14, and Ryan Hawke in P16. P15 even. I am in P16 in the safety car. We see Stella Alnak, one of the Stella Alnak cars, coming to their pit box at the end of qualifying. There we go. We can see the lap times that everyone has set. R2 Niemanen 1:35.7 in P1. Very, very close between that top group. Just 3/10 separating P1 to P5. And it's quite a long lap around here as well. 1 minute 35 seconds. It's quite technical. Quite a lot of places you can lose time. So great to see that top group all bunched up. Wagenvort just a little further down on that. 4/10 off Stevenson. Martin Vanterland again a couple of tenths down, and then Roberto Radocchia and the midfield pack all kind of clumped together. So we should be on for a good race here at Imola. To go by its full name, I think it's called the Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari nowadays, but Imola is what it's known as. You know, you go back in history in Formula 1, it used to be the San Marino Grand Prix. It's not in San Marino, but it's what it was known as for whatever reason. I think you have a few weird things in Formula 1 like that. You had I believe the Nürburgring race was once called the Luxembourg GP or something. Bit of a weird blip in history where they just decide to name the Grand Prix after a different track, a different place. Obviously in Italy you have Monza as the primary Italian Grand Prix, so they use Autodromo Enzo San Marino for the name for the Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari Grand Prix. I suppose there's different ways of doing it, and that's how they decided to do it. The camera getting in position for the start of the race. See R2 Niemanen on the outside here, but, well, the inside for the kink, and then the outside for turn 1. Very, very long run down into turn 1 here at Imola, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hold that lead all the way down the straight. The draft will come into effect with the long run they have down here. Alongside him is Thomas Barbary in the Younger GP car, familiar sight. R2 Niemanen in the Toto Rosso alongside a Younger GP car. Today it is Thomas Barbary on the front row alongside him. Oscar Williams in the Infowood, returning after missing the last few rounds in P3. Lights start to come on now as we transition into the race. Didn't forget this time. And away they go. R2 getting a better start on that inside line, allowing him to just straight line the exit, whereas Thomas has to go around. The Younger GP cars 3 wide as they go down the straight now. Infowood cars all in a big group. 4 Infowood cars here today. 3 Younger GP cars all clumped together. One of the Stella Alnaks gets on the grass, and that is Williams going wide into the chicane. One of the Young GP cars is wide as well. That allows Wagenvort up into P3. Great start for him. What a huge crash for one of the Younger GP cars there. And that is going to be a red flag. I'm calling that as a red flag. Car rolling over there. And yeah, that will be a red flag. Car's not getting away. Quite cleanly there as they go through turn 1. Car rolling on its roll hoop, not the roof, in these open top cars. But yeah, we will go again, have another go at that start. Unfortunately, cars getting involved in quite an incident there. A few cars off at turn 1 and then a few cars off on the exit as well. Not what we want to see. Hopefully they can get around better this time around. We get the magic drone camera we have in sim racing, allowing us to get a nice view of the start. But yeah, interesting rehearsal for the start there. We see R2 on the inside. He can just basically straight line at the start, you know, go cover off the outside without even having to turn his wheel. Meanwhile, Thomas Baveri in the younger car on the outside, he has to kind of set off and then turn to the right a little bit. He needs to, you know, get an extra little bit of load on the tyres to get the car turning, and that's just enough to kind of get your start not where you want it to be. Meanwhile, the other younger car behind, Maxi Younger, he can straight line it the same way as R2 can, so we might see him jump his teammate at the start again, but the lights come on for attempt number 2 here at Imola. A better start this time around for Thomas Baveri. Maxi Younger in the background, nowhere near, as well as teammate checking up behind him, having to back off as we look at the safety car. Here we go once again. It looks like Thomas is on the inside of R2 this time around. A much better getaway as they go into turn 1. A bit of contact between those two. One of the younger cars getting together with the Infoword, but looks mostly clean. That is Williams and Stevenson, two of the front runners, getting involved in this incident. But here is Baveri on the inside through Villeneuve. Holds the position in front of R2 as they go through, filter through. Single file now. There's only really one line through there. On board with Thomas Baveri coming through Tosa, that is, up the hill to Piratella. Single file, as I said, through Villeneuve. It kind of forces the cars that were alongside to back out. You need all the space you can get, and you kind of can't go side by side through a corner like that on board with Niemanen as they go down the hill to Variante. No, that is Aquaminerale, sorry. And then again up the hill to Aquaminerale. Variante Alta. Getting confused with all the corners here, but as they go down the straight, that is Younger tucked up right behind the Toto Rosso car of Niemanen. Bouncing over the chicane. Keeps it within track limits most of the field. Manages to see the Infoword car of Williams further back down the field. He's dropped all the way to P10. Terrible start for him. I think he started P4. Younger was P3. He's held it. Niemanen P1 has lost the lead to Baveri as Baveri starts the second lap of the race. Second lap of this 20-minute race here at Imola today in the Sprint Series. But yeah, very, very disappointing for Williams. Very disappointing for Stevenson as well. He's all the way down in P13. But Niemanen with a great run down the start-finish straight. Looks to the outside of Baveri. Baveri's going defensive into turn 1 here. Has the outside, has the inside, manages to get the move done. Can Baveri do anything about it? He's tucked up right behind the rear wing as they go into Villeneuve. Niemanen holds it round the outside, the inside, but Baveri, oh, and they touch. Niemanen, very, very well done to hold the car there, but yeah, losing positions to Maxi Younger. I said there was only one line through there. They tried to go side by side on lap 2 here, and Niemanen lost out, just got tagged on the rear wheel by the Young GP car, and now he's having to fight with Maxi in P2 as he runs very wide through Piratella into Aquaminerale. Oh, and the Infoword car of Wagenvort nearly goes into the back of Maxi Younger there. Very difficult to follow through that sequence of corners. But Baveri has a bit of breathing room now. I've just realised we've had the tyres on the timing screen for the race. Yeah, there we go. We got the gaps up now. You can see Younger is just 3/10 behind Niemanen. Meanwhile, Baveri has a 1 second gap to Niemanen behind. So he's got a little bit of breathing room now as Younger locks up into Ravazza 1. That'll allow Wagenvort to get very close, if not through. And yeah, Wagenvort goes through. Goes a little wide though, and Younger comes back. But importantly, Wagenvort will have the draft, will have the slipstream as they go down the very, very long start-finish straight. Fastest lap for Baveri, 38.7 in the lead of the race. Wagenvort's going to come back at Maxi Younger to the inside. Younger does not close the door. Allows him through, but Younger will be looking for the switchback. Nothing he can do into turn 1. They come through the kink at turn 3, I suppose. Down to Villeneuve, but not close enough to be able to try and make a move. And as we saw with Barberi and Nieminen, it didn't go well when Barberi tried to keep that hold that position. I feel we might see a steward's inquiry about the contact between those two as well, potentially, because the contact is what pushed Nieminen down. Did manage to hold the car. I thought he was going to be in the wall. It was very well done to hold the car like that. And yeah, it was a shame to see him, you know, dropping down 1.2 seconds now at the gap to Barberi. Oh, and that's a car round. Sorry, I was looking at the timer screen. Who is that? Maxi Younger, 360 degrees, 540 degrees as he spins around again. I think he came together with Tim Draper. Looks like Draper's out of the race now. I don't know what happened to Maxi. I was unfortunately looking at this timing screen as I just saw a car spinning on the screen. Don't know if he dropped it himself. Don't know if he was tagged by Wagenvort behind. But Williams making up ground. Doing a great job there after being in E10, I think it was, after the start of the race. But yeah, very disappointing for Maxi Younger. Stevenson, his teammate, right behind him now. After Stevenson was taken out, got involved in the incident at the start of the race. I'm not sure what happened there. We'll have to check after the race is finished. Have to check the replays. But yeah, very disappointing for Maxi Younger. Great for Oscar Williams. I might have called him Willems earlier, I think. Great for Oscar Williams. Up in P4, recovering nicely. Looks like Vanterland has kind of held position as well. Yeah, really unsure what happened there, unfortunately. I wish I could provide more details. Those watching the stream can probably flick back, because we did get it on the camera. I just wasn't looking at the camera at the time, unfortunately. But yeah, Wagenvort now 4 seconds to Nieminen. Quite a big gap for that top pair of Barberi and Nieminen. The two fighting for the lead. They're about a second apart. Further down the field, you've got Vanterland as he follows his teammate, as the timing is incorrect. It says Nieminen's took the lead, but clearly having some problems with our timing software there. Nieminen is still in P2. Ignore the timing screen. It's still, yeah, there we go, corrected itself as they go through the next sector marking. Nieminen still trailing Barberi, 13 minutes and 30 seconds here to go at Imola through Ravazza 2, powering down this long start-finish straight. I've said it a few times, but it is a very, very long straight. And these lower formula cars especially, you really do feel how long it is. In the last season of the Premier Series, season 10, apologise, we had a race around here with the DRS and the VRC Formula Alpha. And this long straight was a crazy overtaking opportunity with DRS. The power of the DRS then was so powerful, you would have, you know, you'd be maybe 8/10 behind the car and you'd be in front by the braking zone. So as long as you could stay within that second throughout the lap, which was quite easy, you would end up having, you know, a position swapped every lap, lap after lap. It must be one of the records for the most overtakes we've ever seen in a Formula Trout race in the Premier Series. It's a little harder in these little Sprint Series cars. No DRS, very little skinny rear wings anyway. And yeah, the speed difference is a lot lower, and that start-finish straight feels a lot longer because you're doing a lot less speed down it. I think these cars probably have a third of the power as those top-flight Formula cars. But the racing is just as good. Nieminen trying to keep up with Barberi here. Barberi still has fastest lap, I believe. Yes, still has fastest lap by a 1/10 of a second. But Williams behind is catching Wagenvort, catching his teammate, his infield teammate, getting a little wide onto the AstroTurf there. As he's wiggling around in his mirrors, showing to his teammate, I'm here, I'm catching. Yellow flags for Radocchia, loses it at the Variante. Alta drops behind his teammate, Marco Radocchia. And Younger and Stevenson will get past the Stala Alnat car. Kevin Vanet on the back of Vanterland as we switch to the onboard. Vanterland's wide through Ravazza 2, loses the rear of the car, allows Vanet to get alongside before they're even halfway down the straight. Vanterland will try hold on to this, but can he, as he looks to the outside? Vanet on the inside in the impact blue. He will have the inside line. Can Vanterland go for the switchback? Very experienced driver is Martin, and no, nothing he can do. Nice and tidy though, no contact between them. Good racing after Vantelan's unfortunate mistake through Villeneuve. But Vanit up into P5. Vantelan drops down to P6 after that mistake at the Rivazza. But further up the field, the next two Infowood cars. Williams is now very, very close to the back of Wagenvort. We saw him weaving on the straight before to show his teammate, I'm here, I want to make the overtake. And yeah, Williams has caught right up to the back of Wagenvort. A little bit out of track limits there. We might see some things from the stewards for this, because I think everyone is doing this. And now we've seen similar things in real life racing. I think it was a Formula 3 race a couple of months ago, maybe an F4 race, where every driver in qualifying, I believe, reached track limits, and every driver's qualifying time was deleted. Obviously, we won't be that extreme here in Formula Trout League, but it's not unusual in, you know, even real life motorsport for drivers to all push the limit and all get punished for it, as we see Williams running wide out of Rivazza 2 there once again, starting, well, crossing the line here, halfway point of the race, 10 minutes out of the 20 to go. Just a reminder, we do have race 2 here as well, which will be a reverse grid up to P10, so that would be Stevenson starting on pole at the moment, but I have a feeling Younger and Stevenson, they won't be finishing the race in P9 and P10. They will be making ground, as you can see on the timing. Younger is just a second behind Radocchia now. He was 1.2 seconds faster that last lap too. Yellow flags for Andreas. He has lost the car at Variante Alta, gets it going again, neat and tidy. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Thomas Berry still leading in the Younger GP car as they come through Tota down the hill to Acque Minerale. Niemanen desperately trying to cling on. 1.5 seconds now, but I just don't think Niemanen has the same pace, has the same amount of lap time that he can manage to be able to keep up with Barberry in this straight fight. But you know, the tyres will wear out. Imola is very hard on the tyres. You know, a lot of high speed, a lot of medium speed corners. It's very hard on the tyres here at Imola. So we could see as the timer ticks down as we get into the final few minutes of the race. We could see Barberry making a mistake. 8 minutes 40 to go here, though. Still, you know, 8 minutes, 9 minutes of racing to go. As Williams is side by side with Wagenvort. Wagenvort expertly defends against his teammate into Rivazza 1. Rivazza 2, Williams, nothing he can do as they come down the, once again, I'll say it, the long start-finish straight. Williams tucked right into the draft here. No DRS to help these F317s. Williams is going to have to look to the outside as Wagenvort is glued to the inside of the track as they come into turn 1. Williams has his wheels in front. Can he hold the position round the outside? He'll have the inside for the second part of the corner, and yes, he can. Williams holds, well, gets into P3, holds it through turn 1. Wagenvort drops down to P4. And that will allow Williams to pull a gap. He's been following him for quite a few laps. He's finally got that move done. A great recovery drive for Williams so far to get back into the podium too. So Wagenvort won't be happy with that, but I think Williams will kind of take this and drive off with it. To say, on one hand though, I suppose Wagenvort will be quite happy with it. It is his teammate after all. It is the Infowood car. Wagenvort, Vanteland, you know, it's their team, their passion project to say, the Infowood cars. It's been a mainstay of the sprint series. It's great to see them back here for season 6. And yeah, even though Wagenvort's getting overtaken by your teammate is not so bad. But what is bad is losing the car through the chicane like that. Very, very big gap to Vanteland, so he won't lose a position, but he will lose any chance he has of taking the position back from Williams, losing the car through the Variante Alta. And as I say that, Martin Vanteland has lost the car through the Variante Alta as well in the same place. Wagenvort missed the wall, but Vanteland didn't. Vanteland drops down to P9, losing the car at exactly the same place as his teammate. I said the tyres would start to drop down. Maybe they already have started to drop down. I said the dying minutes. Still 6 minutes to go. Still over a quarter of the race to go, but drivers struggling through Variante Alta there, struggling over the curbs perhaps. Disappointing there. Stevenson is also out of the race. I didn't notice this. Younger goes past Radocchia. Stevenson has retired from the race down in P14. I don't know what happened there, but we've lost Stevenson at some point. Must have lost the car somewhere. Very disappointing for the championship leader won't affect his championship lead too much, I predict, because he's got such a great string of results, and we do have a dropped round here in the sprint series, so this will probably be one of his dropped rounds, because I don't think he's finished below around P6, I think. So yeah, he's going to lose this, lose the points he would have gained here. I'm sure he doesn't mind too much with that huge lead he already has. Speaking of huge leads, Ferrari 1.5 to Nieminen, not able to close. Well, I'm saying Niemanen's not able to close up, but then Nieminen isn't getting gapped by Burberry that much. Burberry's still 1.5 seconds. It's been that for around the last 10 minutes or so. So Burberry kind of managing the pace perhaps. Nieminen just following, waiting for the younger car to make a mistake, or hoping the younger car is going to make a mistake so he can go through. If he does get his chance, he's really going to have to take it, because I doubt there isn't much overtaking opportunities here. Nieminen was just 600ths faster that last lap. So, you know, at that current pace, he's going to need 20 laps or something to close up. Nowhere near enough. There's only 5 minutes left here. Quarter distance now. Quarter time, I should say. The field has kind of spread out a little bit now after we've had a few drivers making mistakes. But yeah, as said, Stevenson is out of the race. And the shock of this round, he was involved in that incident on lap 1 with Williams, but Williams back up to P3. Stevenson dropped all the way down to P14. Well, let's say he's dropped down to P14. He is retired and is now classified in 14th, but he will not be classified. He won't complete 80% distance, and there will be race over for him. So sad to see for the younger driver. But the younger team won't be too disappointed. They have a Burberry up in P1. The next younger car is Maxi Younger in P7, and they have, again, a very big championship lead. Not too important for them at this point. Obviously, you know, they want to score maximum points. They can actually win the championship here, I believe. If not, they might actually almost certainly win the championship here. I can't remember the statistics that Maxi Younger was talking to me about. But, yeah, there is the chance of it. Timing screen blip once again. Clearly the the huge chicanes at the Variante Alta maybe unsettling the timing, the transponder in the car, and yeah, getting confused with the positions that the drivers are in. But Williams is still in P3, corrected itself now. Burberry 136.5, fast lap for him, just a tenth off his fastest. Burberry is still pushing. He's not necessarily managing the pace, but the gap has opened up to 1.9 seconds now. 3 minutes to go. We should get 3 more laps, I think, including this one. Through Villeneuve. Ooh, big snap of oversteer for Burberry on the exit. Well held, didn't lose any time, but you don't want to be doing that too much. Overworking the tyres, and eventually you'll do that. The tyres won't have any more grip to give, and you'll be in the wall. But for now, as Burberry comes through Piratella, he's running quite happily in this P1 position. We can see the fish is okay on that wall. The mirrored Formula Trout is okay. The fish is okay there, so it's good to see the Formula Trout making an appearance on the track surface. Younger GP was obviously the last the last team to sponsor this in the Premier Series. We see their logos littered around as well. In the Premier Series, we do operate a bit of a... You can bid, let's say, on a sponsorship package system, I suppose. As apparently Oscar into the wall at Variante Alta. What his teammates have done. Wagenvort did it. Vanterland did it. Now Williams has done it. That has allowed Wagenvort to get back in front of Williams, back into the podium. Williams won't be happy with that, making a mistake. Just this late into the race. All he had to do was keep it on the road and he would have had that podium. But yeah, dropped down now. Just saw the contact on the timing, and then yeah, Williams dropping down into P4. Very disappointing for him. Yeah, lost 5 seconds on that last lap. Could still have a chance at Wagenvort. He's only 1.5 seconds back, but there's only 1 lap, 2 laps to go, I should say. And yeah, that's a shame for the Infowood driver. At least he's kept going, unlike his competitor Stevenson, who has retired from the race. Andreas is also in the pit lane. Looks like he's retired from the race. Ridocchia, Marco Ridocchia, just a second or so behind Younger. with quite a good recovery as well into P6 now, for making that mistake earlier down. Well, I assume it was a mistake. Maybe there was contact and it wasn't Maxi's fault. But yeah, not a bad recovery after his spin at Acqua Minerale, I should say. Just 1 minute to go here at Imola. Ferrari comes down the hill to Ravazza 1, and then followed by Ravazza 2. Starting what will be the final lap of the race. 40 seconds left here. And yeah, there won't be any more time after that for them to go around again, unless he somehow breaks the all-time track record and completes it in 30 seconds. I don't think that's quite possible, but you never know. It is sim racing after all. Williams, meanwhile, has caught up to Wagenvort very, very quickly. So Williams driving angry here after his spin, losing that podium position. 5 tenths behind as we ride on board. As we don't ride on board, we follow him on the trackside cameras. 5 tenths to his teammate. He's going to be pushing very hard to try take the position. He's got 1 lap to do it. Will he be able to get back up into the podium after that earlier mistake? We'll see as they come into turn 1. Way too far back. 5 tenths to be able to make any impact on Wagenvort. No DRS, no battery you can use to try get him closer. He just has to rely on pure pace, pure skill, cornering ability to get closer to his teammate as they come through Villeneuve. He loses the car. He loses the car into the wall. I said it was all skill, all ability, and Williams just went a bit beyond what the what the car could do. You know, that the skill went too far, or ran out of skill, I should say, and into the wall for Williams. He won't lose the position as long as he can keep it on the track. I've said that a few times. He won't lose the position and then loses the car. Yeah, Williams will not be happy with that. Just, you know, he had nothing to lose there, really. 1 more lap to do it. 1 more lap to try get the position on his teammate, get back into the podium. But who will be on the as comes through the final corner, who will be on the top step of the podium. Thomas Barberry will cross the line on this final lap to finish first for Younger GP. Great win for him. Challenged by Nieminen, who finishes second at the start of the race, but led a solid race through the rest of it. Managed that gap expertly. 2 seconds of Nieminen behind. Unfazed. Great job for him. Wagenvort will finish P3. Got overtaken by his teammate, made a mistake, but then his teammate, who is about to cross the line in P4, made 2 more mistakes himself and dropped back. Max Younger managed to get in front of Kevin Vanet on that last lap there. Up into P5 for him. Good job, good recovery for Younger. Good 5th position start for the next round as well. On the 3rd row of the grid, Vanet will start in P4. Marco Radocchia in P7 for the Stella Alnac. Roberto Radocchia P8 will start in P3. Vanterland in P9. Disappointing result for him. And the Procision car, the Procision power car, both of them coming across line in formation, basically. Just a second apart between these teammates at their first race here at Formula Trout League in the Sprint Series. He will finish 10th, and he will be starting the 2nd race on pole position with the reverse grid there. So good start for him. Teammate will start P11, unfortunately, because it's only the top 10 can start in the reverse grid order. But yeah, Thomas Barry, he'll be starting P10, but maximum points in race 1 for him. Great finish, and yeah, takes the lead, takes the win here at Imola. Disappointing for Stevenson, disappointing for Tim Draper, disappointing for Andreas Leonardo. That's not how you pronounce your name, but doing my best. And yeah, shame for those 3 DNFing from the race. Stevenson didn't see what happened, but yeah, got involved in an incident at turn 1, and yeah, was out of the race, I think around the 10-minute mark. He completed, how many laps did he complete? 6. So yeah, not many laps at all. The lead is 13, so just under half distance for Stevenson to retire. Won't be classified, will be a DNF. No points for the championship leader here at Imola in race 1. We can just see the finishing order once again. Tom Ferrari in P1, 13 laps completed. R2 Niemann P2, Jaap Wagenvort in P3, Williams P4, Younger P5, Kevin Vanet for Impact Blue P6, Marco Radocchia, Roberto Radocchia P7, P8 for them, Martin Vanterland P9 in the Infoword. it's like F1 My Team. The Protogen driver in P10, because we can't pronounce that guy's name. Apologies. The other Protogen driver in P11, and then we have Ryan Hawke in P12, Andreas Leonardo in P13, DNF for him, Steve Stevenson for the younger driver, P14, DNF for him, and P15 for Tim Draper. 15 drivers here today, 12 finishes in race 1, and safety car as well, Mercedes SLS AMG, Alex Cochran, me in the commentary box. So as they take to the grid for race 2 here at Imola, it is the Protogen driver on pole position here. He will have the straight line getaway, whereas Vanterland on the outside will have to navigate that kink here at turn 1. Well, not turn 1. Before they get to turn 1, the kink on the straight, he will have to navigate that, but hopefully he can get a good start. We saw it was Niemann get a good start in race 1, and get a good getaway. So maybe Vanterland can replicate that again here. Two Stella Alnek cars on the second row of the grid. We've seen a few times this season the Stella Alnek cars doing good things in race 2, usually unfortunately getting involved in incidents that have not been their fault. Monaco is a standout example. I can't remember which one of the Radocchias it was, but yeah, got tagged by a faster car, or car trying to get past, and yeah, that was the race over for them. Threw him down the order, and it could have been a potential podium, if not win, in that round, but maybe they can make something of it here today at Imola. The lights start to come on here, the 6 in Assetto Corsa. And away they go. It's a good start for Vanterland. It's a better start for the Stella Alnek car. Gets away and takes the lead. Huge puff of smoke from Vanterland. There's the safety car. Roberto Radocchia then into the lead, turn 1. Marco Radocchia into P2. Kevin Vanet challenging for P3. A disaster of a start for the Protogen, but then a disaster of a start for the Stella Alnek. The field clumped up in one big group, all being checked up. Concertina effect in action as they're 4 wide as they come down into Villeneuve. Radocchia in the lead. Marco Radocchia holding on to P3. Most of the field getting through cleanly. Infoward, Younger, Toto Rosso, all side by side. That's Niemann on the outside of Maxi Younger as they go through Tosa. Further down, Wagenvort alongside Ribery. Protogen car as well. Roberto into the lead still. And Maxi holding on to P4. Protogen car going wide as we lose one of the Trout cars. It's that Ryan Hawke. It is Ryan Hawke, unfortunately losing the car on the exit of Piratella. But further up the field, Marco Radocchia, Roberto Radocchia, sorry, in P1. Yellow flag for Williams. Williams has lost the car somewhere, but here we go. Niemann up the inside, or defending from the Radocchia. Marco Radocchia into a Variante Alta. Wagenvort will have a go as well. Into Ravazza 1. Gets the move done, but runs wide. And loses the car. Gets tagged. Very disappointing for Wagenvort. He might be beached as well. Will he get it going again? I don't know. Lap 2 here. Roberto Radocchia in the lead of the race. In P2, the Impact Blue of Kevin Vanet. Younger with a good start. Niemann with a good start too. Williams is DNF from the race. Not sure what happened there, but he is out of the race here. Stevenson in P8. Wagenvort in P12. He has got it going again, but Wagenvort, yeah, got tagged up the rear by Radocchia. He ran a little wide after trying to make the overtake. Couldn't avoid. The car behind couldn't avoid, and yeah, Wagenvort spinning into the gravel all the way down into P12. Stevenson, meanwhile, up past Vanterland. Disappointing start for Vanterland after starting in P2. Apologies. Nieminen then in P4. Finished P2 in the last round. Barberi won the last round, the last race. But he is 2.5 seconds behind his podium guy he shared the podium with. Don't know what I was going to say then. But yeah, Radocci doing a good job in front. 1.6 second gap now. Kevin Vanek behind. He's going to want to build that gap up as much as possible. As the onboard switched away from him, he had a big spin of the rear wheels there as he got on the AstroTurf. A shame to see. Well, nothing's happened yet. He's still going. He's still got a 1.5 second gap, but he's going to want to build that gap, as I said, because Younger, Nieminen, Barberi, they're all going to be bearing down on him as fast as they can. They want this win. Younger wants this win. Will he be able to go past Vanek this lap? Younger sets fastest lap of the race in the process. He goes to the inside. Vanek opens the door for him. And through he goes. Surely he's got this position. Vanek has to let him through. He's on the outside. He's going to be compromised too, so this might allow Nieminen to get through. It's really important. If Nieminen wants to challenge Maxi, Nieminen has to get through Vanek. Has to go past him as soon as possible. Not able to do it. Vanek holds on P3 for the time being, but Younger's going to be closing down on Radoccia. Nieminen's going to be wanting to get past Vanek so he can keep challenging Younger, not let him get away from him. And climb the hill up to Piratella. Yellow flags for Hawk. Looks like he's lost the car somewhere. That's at turn 1. It's unfortunate. Nieminen just right behind Vanek here, having to back off as they go through Acque Minerale. Runs wide onto the exit outside of track limits. But as we see, he's not able to do anything. Maxi is closing the gap to Radocci. It's just 1 second now as Vanek nearly loses the car. But Nieminen needs to get past him as soon as possible so we can start closing back up to Maxi. To the inside. Well, goes Vanek, not able to defend, and that has allowed Nieminen through. So 1.3 seconds. R2's lost around a second to Maxi there. He was right on his gearbox before Younger got past Kevin Vanek, and now he's 1 second back, so he has lost a bunch of time in trying to get past the Frenchman of Kevin Vanek. Meanwhile, Barry in P5, winner of race 1, trying to close up. He's in a similar boat to what R2 was. He's going to need to clear Vanek as soon as possible. Fellow countryman going to need to overtake him as soon as he can. Doesn't want to lose time to that, well, Younger and Nieminen, who are gonna, as you can see, he looks to the inside already. Kevin Vanek leaves the door open, leaves him room just in case. Wheel banging between the two there. Oh, as I thought we were going to see one of the cars spin out. Barberi so close to him. Into Piratella. Barberi on the inside gets the move done. Fantastic bit of aggressive driving there. I said Barberi had to do it as soon as possible. He threw him a dummy off the inside. Vanek fell for it. Went through. Barberi up into P4. Bit of wheel banging up the hill for a good measure, but safe and through both of them. And Barry will now start to challenge the top two, but Younger gets past Radoccia. I think Radoccia might have made a mistake at the chicane. It's allowed him to go through. Up into the lead for Maxi Younger. Roberto Radoccia drops down to P2. Nieminen, meanwhile, on the gearbox of Radoccia. Surely he's going to go through to the inside. Through these few kinks, he'll have the outside for turn 1, but he might have the move done before they even get there. Great move from Younger to get up there. Great move from Nieminen. And now Barberi, who was just as aggressive on Kevin Vanek, making that move on the Impact Blue car. Didn't want to lose the time to his teammates in front and Nieminen as well. He's going to need to get through Radoccia as soon as possible. As they come down to Villeneuve now, you can see Stevenson is behind Vanek. It's his turn to overtake the Impact Blue. If he can, of course. Don't rule them out. Mantelan right behind the other Radoccia, who is down in P7 after that disappointing start of the race where they got into contact with another car. but Nieminen is right behind Maxi. Wow, look at that, 3/10. Come through Acqua Minerale. R2 pushing as hard as he can. He wants this win. He wants to, take the top step of the podium, what he couldn't do in race 1. It's kind of a repeat of the last round. Barberi gets past Radocchia. Radocchia drops to P4. So Barberi is going to be in the hunt as well if Nieminen can hold, well, if Younger can hold on from Nieminen. He's so close. I don't want to make assumptions, but it looks like Barberi has been the faster car this weekend, and yeah, Barberi will be catching Maxi at least. So if Maxi can hold on to the position from Nieminen, might allow his teammate to have a go. But it is a difficult track to overtake. Maybe Maxi can defend for the rest of 12 minutes, but I don't think that'll be the case. Maxi Younger just holds it onto the outside. Nieminen not able to get alongside enough. They come together. Nieminen still on the track. Another instance of Nieminen getting together with another car, holding it on track with a great save. But Maxi wasn't having any of it. Shut the door on the Toto Rosso car. Came together. Both of them got away with it. Barberi now, though, 3/10 behind Nieminen. So that has really helped out Younger's teammate. As they come up the hill now, out of Tosa into Piratella. This top trio separated by less than 0.8 of a second. So we see on board Maxi Younger checking his mirrors. Barberi on the gearbox of Nieminen. We saw in the last round a few drivers make some double overtakes down the start-finish straight at, not start-finish straight, the back straight at Donington. Maybe the start-finish straight here at Imola is even longer. I'll say it. The long start-finish straight here is a great place for overtakes, and maybe Barberi can do the double, get past Nieminen and Younger, and do the double in both ways, get past Nieminen and Younger, and take the win in race 1 and race 2. We'll see. Not the best exit out the Ravazza for him. Nieminen will be in the tow. No DRS to help out these drivers. Maxi might not even have to defend this one. Look how far back Nieminen is. But meanwhile, Barberi, fastest lap of the race, weaves around, tries to trick Nieminen, not know where he's going to go, not know where he's going to send the car. But Nieminen, experienced driver, does not fall for it. Pulls on for another lap. Nieminen trying to get the tow from Younger, follows his defensive move, and Barberi not close enough to be able to make the move this time around. That looks like Ryan Hawk off in the background. Unfortunately, Stevenson has got through Radocchia and Vanit, so is catching the top 3 now. Well, depending on the pace of Maxi, of course, might be catching the top 3. We will see yellow flags for Vanterland. He has lost it at Villeneuve. I feel like he might have got together with Tim Draper, who is also off the road. Could have been contact maybe with Hawk, who was off. There was yellow flags out, so could have just been, didn't expect to see the car there as they came through and lost it in reaction, or maybe there was contact, not too sure. But as they come through the chicane once again, Younger, Toto Rosso, Younger and Younger, with Stevenson currently the top 4 here. Stevenson has a 2-second gap to close, but if these 3 are battling, that gap can come down very quickly. Bit of a lock-up for Maxi there into Ravazza 1. But the exit is what matters. Down the straight, 8 minutes to go here at Imola. Maxi checking his mirrors once again. Unfortunately, the rear camera on these cars not the best. All we can see is a big bit of rear wing, but if R2 does get close, we would see that nose of the Toto Rosso just getting close. As you can see, the front wing just sneaking into view there. But yeah, not close enough to make the move. Not close enough for even to for Maxi to even have to defend. As they come through Villeneuve now, you can see how fast R2 was through there, taking a different line perhaps, but that's compromised his exit. Barberi tucks in behind for Tosa, not able to make the move, not able to go for the inside as he did on Vanit this time, but still 7 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Still a good number of laps to go, and these 3 putting on a great battle for us so far. come down the hill and into Acqua Minerale once again. Very, very tricky braking zone, especially when you're following another car. You can just wash out the front wing, lose that front downforce, and cars are sensitive to these. With locking the brakes, you can just go straight on, go wide, or maybe take out the car in front, which you don't want to see. Both the cars in front struggling over the large curbs there has allowed Barberi to get a bit of a run on Nieminen. Really tricky one to judge here, though. Is it worth making a move into Ravazza 1? Barberi backs off. Very, very smart driving. He doesn't want to make the move into Ravazza 1 because he's just going to get past again down the straight. He needs to maximise the exit onto out of Ravazza 2, down the start-finish straight, and Barberi loses the rear of the car, compromises his exit a little bit, but he's in the draft, just 2/10. He's going to have to try make his move on R2 Nieminen. Nieminen goes to the inside to try defend from Barberi. We saw this last round. We saw it again here in race 2, and they come together. Nieminen not getting away with it, Barberi not getting away with it, both of them off the road. Stevenson up into P2, Younger can breathe a little bit, cars behind, now 2.8 seconds back. Barberi gets going again, but yeah, the cars behind got together. Very, very sad to see the Toto Rosso and the Younger GP cars of Nieminen and Barberi coming together. I think that was probably R2's fault. I don't want to say whose fault it was. I think the car on the inside just washed out wide, tagged the car on the rear, sent them both round. I say it was R2's fault. I can't remember who was the one bouncing over the curb there. I didn't notice if it was in the second or first part of the corner, but a shame to see drivers fighting for the lead here, fighting for the chance at the podium. And Barberi unable to do the double, all the way down in P8 now. A shame for the Younger GP car, but not a shame for the Younger GP team. Younger in P1, Stevenson in P2. 1-2 for Younger GP. But Nieminen now down in P5, dropping behind Radocchia and Vanet once again. Might have to make the overtakes once again. And I doubt he's going to be able to catch up to that front duo now of Younger and Stevenson. While Wagenvort behind the Stella Alnak of Radocchia. I've been confused a bit during this race when we've been on the onboards or quickly glancing at the cars, because if you look at the Radocchia in front in the Stella Alnak, I keep thinking that's one of the Infowood with the red and the white. Once you see the chicken, it's easy to tell which team it is. Wagenvort does not have the chicken car. Radocchia does have the chicken car, the Stella Alnak. But yeah, I've been getting confused a few times this round, but Wagenvort looks to the inside, thinks better of it, doesn't want to go up the inside there through Villeneuve. We've seen a few incidents already. As Radocchia goes defensive, Wagenvort tries to hold it around the outside. No way you can go the long way around at a corner like that, but maybe he will get a better drive onto the straight as they go up to Piratella. Wagenvort on the inside this time, just backs out. Not as aggressive as he could be, runs wide as well for good measure, and drops down 5/10 now to Radocchia. Running wide there. So Wagenvort just not being as aggressive as perhaps he could be. Radocchia, I don't want to say he's a slow driver. He definitely isn't one of the slower drivers. We've got a very competitive grid here, and the lap times are very close. But you know, Wagenvort, I believe he's a multi-time Sprint Series champion. You know, very, very fast driver, very accomplished driver, very experienced driver. But as he locks the brakes, keeps it, doesn't keep it on the road, on the exit, as Barberi looks to capitalise on Wagenvort's mistake there. That's commentator's curse if I've not seen it. Wagenvort's a very experienced driver and locks up into Ravazza 1 there. Sorry for that, Yap. No doubt you'll watch this back and curse me for that one. As Tim Draper retires from the race, but side by side, Wagenvort and Barberi. Barberi on the inside gets through cleanly, and unlike his battle with R2, has managed to stay on the road this time. Takes that position, but can Wagenvort come back at the Younger GP car? Wagenvort not able to do anything. Yeah, just going back into what I was saying before. You know, Wagenvort, very experienced driver, very fast driver, but just he has a little wiggle on the entry there. just seems a little bit afraid to make that, you know, the important moves he needs to do on Radocchia. Maybe he has damage from the early laps of the race, got contact perhaps, but yeah, Wagenvort, if he's wanting to keep up with the rest of the field, you know, when we saw at the start, Younger, Stevenson, Barberi and Niemann, before they got involved in their accidents, had to clear Vanit and Radocchia, and they just got it done, you know, chuck it up the inside, throw a dummy, through they go and start building that gap. And Wagenvort just unable to do that, unable to make that aggressive move, and has allowed the rest of the field to get away from him. Barberi, though, is trailing Radocchia now. Is he going to go up the inside, or is he going to back off like he did with Niemann? And he's going to back off like he did with Niemann, and no need to make the move there. Just go for it down the start-finish straight. The long section of draft you can get. That's one of the Protogen cars. Looks like they're off the track. Not going again. But yeah, Barberi now down the start-finish straight. Got in that draft for as long as you can. Goes to the inside. Takes P6, and I think that is the move done. Ahead before the braking zone, and through he goes back up into P6. Very disappointing, because he could have been fighting for the win. Unfortunately wasn't. Meanwhile, Niemann did pass Kevin Vanit there for P4, so Niemann and Barberi starting to make positions back up again after getting together earlier in the race. Only a minute to go here though at Imola. I think maybe we'll have one more lap to go after this one. Younger leading teammate Stevenson in race 2 here. Stevenson started all the way down in P13, so good job from him to be fighting for the lead. Obviously the rest of the field did kind of fall off the road, and the seas did part for Stevenson. Kind of, I don't want to say once again, you know, Stevenson, very talented driver, has done a very good job. He's the one that's kept it on the road, but as we saw at Monaco, I remember saying, oh, no chance Stevenson can do anything, and then he comes through and finishes second, was it? Or did he even win the race? I can't remember, but yeah, that huge crash at Monaco, when we thought it was all over for Stevenson, promoted up into very, very good points-paying positions, but 20 seconds on the clock, so they will have another lap here. Stevenson is 4 tenths behind his teammate. He was 8 tenths faster on that last lap than his teammate, but this is probably his last overtaking opportunity, the last time he's going to have this, I'll say it, the long straight to be able to make the move. It's the last time they go down the full length of that long straight, because next time it's going to be chopped in half by the start-finish line. Yellow flags for Wagenvort. He has lost it at Ravazza 2. He lost it. He went wide before. He's lost it this time. Vanterland just too far back to be able to make a move, but all's eyes on this duo at the front. Teammates battling for the win of the race here at Imola. 2 Younger GP cars, Maxi Younger in P1, Stevenson in P2 as they come up Piratella. Stevenson pushing as hard as he can. I'm sure Maxi is pushing just as hard to hold on to this lead for just a few more corners. Acqua Minerale, keep it neat and tidy. You don't want to lose the car. We saw Maxi spinning here in race 1. Whether he was helped or he did it on his own, I don't know, but he's managed to get through there on this final lap as they come into Acqua Minerale. Bounce over the curves. Take as much as you dare, but not too much, because you will fly across the track into the wall, as we saw Vanterland did in the last round, and Wagenvort, and Williams as well. All the Infowood cars fell for that at the last race here. But as they come through the final corner, Maxi Younger comes down to half of the long straight to take the win here at Imola in race 2. Stevenson in P2, so 1-2 for Younger GP. Fantastic job for them. Well held for Younger. Good recovery for Stevenson after not finishing race 1. Radocchia will finish P3. Great job for him. Ooh, looked like Niemann was really close at the line there. Got a much better run, but Niemann in P4 after an earlier incident. Kevin Vanit in P5. Thomas Barberi up in P6. Radocchia P7. Wagenvort, after a few mistakes, unfortunately, in P8. No. Not the weekend Wagenvort would have wanted. Same for Vanterland. I think he got the podium in race 1, but in race 2, nothing he could do. Down in P8 after a bit of a mistake at Ravazza 2 as well. Vanterland will cross the line in P9. The 2 Protogen drivers just coming out the last corner now to take the checkered flag in P10 and P11. Ryan Hawke is a lap down, just coming through Acqua Minerale now, but should finish in P12, or at least he will be classified in P12 regardless, because he has completed 80% distance here tonight. But yeah, fantastic job for Maxi Younger, taking the win here at Imola in race 2. Stevenson in P2 after a disappointing race 1. Radocchia, great podium for him. Roberto Radocchia, you know, I said a few times he's been involved in incidents that weren't his fault. This round, P3 is a great result. Neiman and Barberi were in front, but they were involved in incidents. And I said all you have to do is keep it on the road, run a clean race, and you can get good points positions. And yeah, Radocchia in P3, great job for him. Hawk just crosses the line in P12. Donuts to celebrate his P12 finish, I am sure, as he hits the wall, unfortunately. But yeah, great thing of racing here today at Imola. Actually, again, taking the win. And yeah, just to go back, if anyone's watching who doesn't participate here in Formula Trout, you know, get involved. Discord link is in the description below. We're a friendly bunch. We'll say hello, you say hello, and yeah, you can register for the sprint series. Still quite a few rounds left. We run this series weekly, same time every week. We'll change with daylight savings, just to be aware, but yeah, we run it every week on Sundays, and there's quite a few rounds left in the season. If you want to take part, we would love to see you here as part of a team or on your own. Up to you. As well, after this, you know, we run our sprint series. We're in season 6 of the sprint series. We also have the Premier Series. Season 12 will likely be starting in the next few months once the sprint series ends. Running one of the, you know, maybe the VRC Formula Alpha 24 if it exists, or the RSS Formula Hybrid 24, or maybe something else. We don't know. We've run quite a lot of different cars in the Premier Series, but that's the one that replicates, you know, top flight Formula racing, Formula 1 style, to say. So yeah, if you want to get involved, join the Discord server. Link is in the description below. But yeah, that was Sprint Series at Imola today. Maxi taking the win in race 2. Teammate Barberi taking the win in race 1. But unfortunately for him, he fell down after a contact with Barberi in the middle of the race. Contact with Neiman, I should say, in the middle of the race. And finished P6 in the end. But overall, good result for the Younger GP team. Kind of disappointing for Toto Rosso. P2 race 1, P4 race 2. Same for Infowood. Could have been more. A P3 for Wagenvort in race 1, but then falling down the order. Williams DNFing from race 2 as well. Not having much of an impact on the standings. Now, do we have anyone for an interview? We may not. After action-packed races such as this, people do need to sit back and relax. After driving, you know, for 40 minutes, literally no rest, no breaks, and these Formula cars, you know, these little F3 cars, it's just pushing 100% till the end of the race. So only a 20-minute race, but when you have 2 of them, and every lap you have to give it your 110%, it can wear you out. Yep, does not look like anyone wants any interviews today. Not offended by that. I don't mind. It's okay. But no, fantastic race here today in Formula Trout League. As I said, if you want to get involved, Discord link is in the description below. We will be here again in 1 week's time. Just check the calendar because I don't remember. Oh, Laguna Seca. We'll be at Laguna Seca next week. So 1 week from now, we'll be racing here at Laguna Seca. Hopefully anyone who wants to get involved and join up, we would love to see you on track for race 2. For race 2? For the next week's race at Laguna Seca for race 1 and 2 if you take part, because there is two races at every round. And yeah, we would love to see you here. But otherwise, I was Alex Cochran. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.